Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here for Deborah Kobylt Live. I'm giggling because my friend is here in studio. General contractor, and I got to say it, general contractor to the stars and then us regular folk. Scott Harris, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You are best known, let's just get it out.
Ah!
I have to.
You are? You're going to do it, right?
I have to.
Okay.
And then we'll just get it out of the way.
All right.
You did Ed Begley Jr.'s home.
I did.
The guy is quite a home. It's beautiful. It's sustainable. Lots of glass. You look out. We're going to talk a little bit later about how you did it. But his monthly bills are like $10 a month.
That's right.
I'm jealous. I can't even tell you. My electric bill just came in and
How much?
water bill from L.A. Thank you so much. The DWP. I got to do an investigation. I'm afraid to tell you because people are going to think I live in some sort of estate, which I do not. Over $2,500.
Ooh.
Who
Ouch.
has that?
You do.
And it's just me left at home.
A lot of people do.
With my husband and my teenage kid and a dog. A cat, 4 lizards, 2 birds, and that's it. That's all we've got. How did I end up with a bill that high? What am I doing wrong?
Did you turn on the air conditioner?
The kid does late at night. Oh,
Yep, there you go.
Oh my God, it's such a tug of war. No, he'll turn it on. He was a teenager, so he goes to bed late, right? He's up doing his
Right.
homework at 2 in the morning. And then at 3 in the morning, I will sneak out and I'll turn it off. By 7 in the morning, it's down again. It's such a tug of war, I'm telling you. But even when, you know, we don't have it up high and it's wintertime or fall when you're transitioning to the heat, it's still high.
How many refrigerators do you have?
Well, I have one.
Now
Now you're gonna I have a large
okay.
one, and then I
All
have
right.
the little ones, like the wine cooler. And you've been in my house.
Yeah. So one of the things that you can do, besides hiring us to do your house for you, if you wanted.
Well, I actually want to build a modern home,
Do you?
and you would be my first guy to do it. As long as you could meet my budget, I would do it. I'm
I could
actually
do
pretty
it.
easy, and I'm hands off because I know what I like, and then it's like, okay, just go do it. But please have it done by this day. Thank
Easy.
you.
Those are like my favorite clients that just say, hey, here's my date and here's what I want. They give me a little picture and we do it.
I've got to tell you, I've built 2 houses from the ground up, like knocked them down.
You look pretty good for building 2 houses.
Thank you so much. That's what my son likes to say. He goes, Mom, you didn't pick up the hammer. No, I love my contractors. We're friends. We see each other for holidays, both of them.
Right.
So I am a good client to have. You would
good.
like me. Yeah,
All right.
and I pay my bills. So
All right,
go ahead.
deal.
How'd you do
Deal.
it?
Let's do it. So I just wanted a few things that you can do before I build your next house for you, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people spend the time and money and thought thinking about, oh, I got to, flip off that light switch. I just saved myself $10. And the lights are not the things that are causing your electrical bills to go up. It's the things that have these things called watts, and there's a lot of them. Things like your toaster ovens using a massive amount of energy, your appliances, your air conditioning
Even when you're not
systems.
using appliances, isn't that right? The fact that they're plugged in? Somebody told me that. I don't
So
know if
here, I
it's
just
true.
did a recent exercise for somebody, and the answer is yes. It was kind of a cool thing. So they have a new house. Their bill was about $4,000, not brand new, but one that they just bought. What happened? How did we get a $4,000 bill? I don't know. We haven't been here. So we walked around with this thing. It's called a hand. And just walked around, and we started putting our hands near things, and you could feel where the heat is. So whenever you feel heat somewhere, you know there's a massive amount of electricity going through that's hitting resistance, and it's actually just causing your electric bill, your wheel, to spin. So I walked around. We started, this cabinet. And so we started shutting things off left and right that were just
I am
normally
going to have
wouldn't
you
use
come
it.
do that with me.
Yeah.
Okay, what about like...
$1,400 difference in 1 month just from walking around with my hand and shutting off things that she didn't realize were running.
He is well worth hiring.
Yes.
To just go around the house with the hand.
The
and
hand.
$1,300 later.
This is a $1,300 hand.
Let's see what you could take off of my bill. But I got to
right.
tell you, okay, so what about like in a guest room, right? I have a television in there for my guests, which is ridiculous. But should I have everything unplugged, in the rooms that I'm not using that stuff?
So the answer is if you unplug, like what we did for Ed Begley's house, is we actually were able to switch off the circuits, because whenever you feel your little, anything that's called like a transformer, when you're plugging something in for your iPhone, and if you feel the back, like your TVs, I don't know if you know this, but they're always on. The TVs are always running because it takes too much energy to turn them on. So the only thing that actually goes on is just the backlight for the screen. So
they're always on.
They're always on.
You
They're
just
always
don't
on.
see the picture,
You just
but
didn't see it.
wow.
And you're like, God, I got all these TVs, they're off, and you keep walking around, I'm going to shut that light up. Mary, you left the light on here. Save, I don't know why
I'm
it's
one of
4,000.
those.
Yes.
I run around, I'm like, you left the light on.
My dad
Go.
used to do that to me. Yeah, it doesn't, so take a look at one of the packages, and it's nice, I think George Bush may have had something to do with this, where if you look at any of the packages now of your lighting for your light bulbs, it'll actually tell you, the government requires them to tell you what that costs to run per year. And it'll say like $1.09,
Yes,
82
you're right.
cents. And so add that up, and there's no way. So how many lights you've run on? And that's a year. That's not one day. That's not 1 month. That's a year.
I'm glad you brought that up. But sometimes those lights, they're like the LED lights and they make you look purple or pink. I can't stand them. Don't they just have the regular white lights that are energy
I'm so
conscious?
not a fan of LED.
But you know what I mean?
But you
The
have to-
ones
yeah.
you're talking about,
Yes.
I think are LED lights, aren't they?
Yeah, so here's something about LED lights is that we also learned is the less expensive lights, what they're doing is the transformers. I'm getting kind of nerdy here, but
No,
this is the important
everybody's
thing.
got this stuff. I kind of disagree. We all have it, but go ahead.
So here, I learned something, right? We ended up having all of these low voltage lighting. We got LED. We're doing the right thing. We hook up a 500 watt dimmer, right? Turn the thing on just to try it. Boom! The whole thing pops.
Scared me.
What happened? Sorry. It scared me too. It actually happened. The thing actually popped and sparks started flying out. But I only had like about 200 watts of lights there.
So what happened?
Because when we went to the store, we bought another switch, tried it again. Boom! Pops again. What's going on? How's that possible?
Do you need a new electrician?
No, you know what we realized was happening is there is a lot more wattage. So the wattage sometimes that they're telling you that's being used is the wattage after the electricity's been wasted. So that little bulb might be using 3 watts or 4 watts, but from the time the electricity goes from your panel to your meter, comes through here, it goes through this transformer. You ever see they have all these little rings around them to like dissipate heat sometimes and they get hot?
Yes.
It's actually knocking down the voltage, and if it doesn't do it efficiently, that's actually heat loss. And so whenever you feel heat, that's basically electricity that did not go into the bulb and it was lost. And so you're using more watts than you actually assume with these. So again, the $1,300 hand,
Or use your own hand.
You can use your own hand, or you can hire this hand. I'm a hired hand. That's what I am.
Scott Harris, the hired hand, the $1,300 hand.
It's amazing. So that's just a good way to tell if you've got an efficient LED bulb or not, or unit.
What else? Because, okay, for people who can't just go and build a new home right now,
Right.
There's got to be ways that they can save. Let me tell you something. We built our house not even 10 years ago. We probably should have done all solar then, but the panels were big
Right.
and, cumbersome, and I didn't want them sticking out like the big satellite dishes used to back in the day. I said, nah, forget about it. I'm sorry I did that, but they're expensive. So I had a guy come out about a year ago to give me a price to just go all solar. Oh my God. I would practically have to like get a second mortgage just to get that
Right,
stuff on
right.
the house. So if you're not going to do that and you're kind of stuck in the house that you have, how do you save money?
So you can do one of the leaseback programs.
You do the hand.
You do the hand. You get the hand out now. You can do a leaseback program where it's a lot of companies out there will do these programs where you're paying a small amount to them, and so what? It's your electric bill was $100. Now you pay them $70, and the rest of it's free. So you're still getting a reduction over the 20 years. It's a better thing to do. You could do what Ed Begley did, which is go for the big bang, and do
Which
the
is what?
investment. I think his was about $80,000. We're doing the systems now for about $50,000 to $80,000. But here's a nice benefit, though. If you have a bigger home, and
Mine was more than that. I
Yeah?
have to tell you, it was a fortune, and I'm like, you know what? Forget it.
I don't
and
think
the rebates would only give me so much.
you were friends with the wrong contractor.
It wasn't a contract; it was a solar lighting.
Oh,
guy.
I see,
I
I
had
see.
them
Yeah,
come
yeah,
over,
yeah.
and it was too expensive. I said, forget it. I'd rather be paying my electric bill every month.
So they've come down in price. So one of the things, though, that makes it more cost understandable for you is if you were going to spend money to have a backup generator, and because those can be $20,000 or $30,000. They're propane based. They got to start up every day, and so what we do now is you put batteries in the home, right?
Yeah.
And so in the event that the power goes out, you actually are constantly storing your own electrical power. So you don't need to have a backup.
I don't think I get that. What is that? What do you mean?
Well, a lot of our clients use backup generators. They don't like to be without electricity for a while. So what this
You
does...
mean when your lights go out?
Pretty much, yeah. Like some of the neighborhoods, what's happening is there's so many people that are having such a high demand of electrical needs that there's big power outages going on. Brownouts for our clients all the time.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And then when a lot of your home is on electronics and smart homes, it's a big deal. They kind of
Actually, I don't even know how they keep up when you think about it. Where we live in Los Angeles, right? I mean, that stuff was built a long time ago.
Right, that's what happened.
Frankly, I'm surprised we don't have more.
Yeah.
Ugh, can't believe I just said that, but let's hope not. Let me get back to all this, because right now I want to talk to you about an article that you wrote in Gladys magazine that anybody can pick up at Barnes & Noble or anywhere, really. It's beautiful.
Barnes & Noble in many places, on many newsstands.
Yeah. 10 ways to live luxuriously in your home. And I like this because it's based in simplicity. And Marina Anderson, we know her, right?
We do know her well. She's amazing.
She also wrote an article, and you know what she said, and I love this. Actually, you told her this. More than, because you did her home, right? She brought you in to redo her home, right?
I did help her with her home. I helped her with the
her.
purchase. I helped her be the critic. I helped her inspire her to do things a little differently. So yes.
She's a beautiful person. She's also an author, actress, author. But you said to her, look, Marina, more than a place to hang your hat, it should be a place, your home should be a place to heal your heart. I just love that. And I do know, because I know you, that is how you are with your clients. I don't think you just walk into it and see a house and a bunch of plywood. I think you see a way to heal their heart. You know, it's a place where people should feel comforted, a place where they're relaxed, regardless of the size of the place. It doesn't have to be an Ed Begley Jr. home.
No,
it doesn't to be mine. It could be a small apartment, right? And you can create that for someone. I think you get to know the person.
Yeah, I grew up in a tough environment, and whenever somebody would take something away from me, my defense was to create something. Well, you took something, so I'm going to make something. I'd go in the garage and make something, and turns out I had a lot of tough stuff, and I made a lot of things. So I never stopped doing that. But I found that if I could make the home a better place, that people had better lives. I found that I could have a better life. You know, in my own personal life, in our home, when I made the home better, it made my life better. It made my family better. It made my sisters happier. And I would instrumentally and incrementally just keep doing this, nipping away, and I watched how it transformed our lives. And it transformed my family. Like, God, can I do it for others? So I tried my aunt's house, worked on her, and why stop? So we started going through the family. I ran out of family
Scott's
member.
coming over again to do another experiment. Little Scott.
I ran out of...
Oh, boy. See, but you never know, right, what a little kid's passion is going to turn into. I really do believe that. I believe whoever you were as a little kid is who you should be when you're older.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be squashed either.
I've never stopped it. And so, in one sense... you get people like Ed Begley who come to you with the dreams. I'm not the biggest EcoBuilder as much as I like to bring people's dreams, make them real and make a home for them and make what they want to make. It's almost like we're the Make-A-Wish Foundation, but we charge for homes.
So let's talk about this.
All
10
right.
ways to live luxuriously in your home. We can briefly actually go through them. The courage to do it, right?
Yeah.
The courage to say, you know what, I'm going to do something different.
Yeah, and look, just a precursor to this thing is living luxuriously is such a coined phrase, and this to me is really more about luxuriously is about how you feel. It's a state of mind, right? It's not about the tag that I've got on my jacket or
or
what
where
my
you
brand,
bought the furniture or anything like that,
and who I can boast to. It's about how you feel. So it was a way to kind of grab people. But yeah, the most important thing, I sat there, I was thinking of one of my clients, and I got, you guys got some guts to do this, And it's really what's different about these people that live luxuriously and have these beautiful homes. They took, like you, it takes some guts to go out there and do it and
I'm a
spend
little
some
like
money.
you, though. I think it's fun. I love going out and looking at tiles and looking at products and touching them and seeing how they work together. It's a creative process for me.
It is, but there's a lot of people who are fearful. There's a lot of people who are across America who are afraid to take the next step. They're afraid to walk out of their box. They're afraid that something's going to happen. So a big part about changing your life is to have some courage.
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
You should be on HGTV, and the name of the show should be The House Healer. Do you like that? The House Healer.
All right.
Like you build homes, but it's a healing environment. Do you like that name?
I did. I was on HGTV, and we did talk about something like that.
No, your own show every week. Like it should
All right.
be you. Each week, The House Healer. I don't know, because I watch that show all the time.
I would love to.
Like, if there's ever a moment in time during the day, I've got it on. That's my go-to
Healing
channel.
homes.
Healing Homes.
There we go. You heard it here first.
Healing Homes. And you
There
can
we
just
go.
take it. It's all for you. Because I think that would
The
be
Sherlock
great.
Holmes of homes, right
No,
here.
because, they have the house hunters and they have all that stuff and they have all these
It's-
couples running around redoing homes. But you would have a more like Zen approach into redoing the house.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Talk to Marina about that.
All right,
Let's
we'll
get
talk.
that
We're
going.
going to talk after.
All right, but we've got the biggest thing that stood out to me in this article, simplicity. Making choices and making it simple.
Yeah, and simplicity isn't one of those buzzwords again, and it's less is more, but do people really understand it? And so the way I related it in this article is clothing. What are you comfortable in? And really, the house is another.
Black.
Then that's what you're comfortable in. But I mean, it's more than that. It's like the fabric. It's like, what do you wear at home, right? When I'm sitting at home, do I wear like some sweats? Do I wear my yoga pants? Do I wear my shirts? Whatever it is, people forget that how important it is to make your house comfortable and simple. And we spend so much time and interest, doing these dental moldings and all of these details. And it's like that party dress or that party outfit that you just, wow, I look so good in it, but hey, I'm not comfortable. You can't wait to get home and take it off.
I'm one of those
You
people.
got to make your environment so a place that you can just sit home and take a breath and
I
love
wish
it.
yoga pants were acceptable everywhere. I really do. I know what you're saying. I wish life was that however you feel at home, you can just go out and project the same thing.
Like if I can say that in that moment that you and I had coffee
At my home?
at your home, like
That was fun.
That was fun. And that was to me like that's what a home should be, just that moment where you can just sit there and you can have your coffee and just be yourself and relax and let your hair down. And homes need to be that way. They don't need to be extravagant, and it doesn't need to be a showcase. So when she walks in, I look impressive. That's not what they're supposed to be.
I love really interesting artwork, and I don't care if somebody bought it, wherever they got it. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can be so creative. You can get stuff at swap meets, don't you think?
Yeah.
That to me is so interesting. If you have time to go to a swap meet or somewhere, thrift stores and whatnot.
Make
you
your
can
own art.
Yeah, and make your own art. You can reframe it. You know what I have in my bathroom upstairs? I got to show you when you come over.
Okay.
Because, in fact, my friend Kaylee helped me put it up. My kids did some kind of cool artwork when they were in preschool. It actually is kind of cool looking.
Uh-huh.
It's not just a line, but that'd be fine too. And it's so colorful and so beautiful that I actually hung it on both sides of my tub. It's really neat. So I'm with you. Make it yourself.
Make it your own.
You make it your own. I love that. So this is a great article. I mean, people ought to pick this up. You can also get it online too, right?
Yeah. You know what? I'm not sure if you can. I think you may have to go and buy it. I think it's one of those ones.
Really? But probably
maybe.
you could find it online as well. I'm
Probably,
thinking.
maybe, yeah.
Or a lot of times, they'll make you subscribe to the magazine.
Exactly.
It's like, finding any publication. They'll make you
Yes.
subscribe and then you can get it. But the Gladys magazine. Tell me more about what else you've been doing with yourself. I know that you talk about growing up and going through things in life but you just had a tough week.
I did have a very tough week. This has been the best part of the week, but I just lost my father, which was it's one of those things that makes you realize nothing in life prepares you for that moment.
Nope.
And, it almost doesn't even matter how close or how distant you are, but it's just you recognize that as a child, you're born with the feeling of a mother or father, if you were, and then what happens is at some point, like I actually felt his soul leaving.
My sister said that.
And I
about
never,
my mom the
it was
day she
freaked me out.
passed.
Like I was like, it's gone. And when people say there's an emptiness and there's something missing, you're like, oh my God, I never got it. Like, wow, it's not just a word. Like there's something that's gone that I'll never feel again. I can never get that back.
You
and
can
it's
never call him again.
that's
It's really hard. I don't know if you called him a lot. I
yeah.
told you when my mom, because she was the first to go, and then I became the caretaker to my dad, and then he left. It was horrifying, and I would wake up and just say, even though she was already gone, "Hi, Mom." I pretended I was calling her. I couldn't bear the fact that I couldn't call her.
Oh.
And to this day, I pretend that she's shopping with me. It's actually really difficult, and I think, isn't it supposed to go away? And for me, it
just
hasn't.
stays,
It just
yeah.
stays there, and I get it. It's the cycle of life. They're your parents. They're going to go. But until you go through it, and the day you lose a parent, or God forbid a child, that's something else that I
Right.
never dealt with,
Oh,
and I know people who have, and
yeah.
may I never, and may you never. But when you do lose a parent, a part of you is just gone. And
Yeah, and you're right about the calls. it's like people keep asking me, what does it feel like? And I said, it only hurts when I think about it. So,
Yeah, I asked you that.
yeah.
And I said, just keep staying busy. But that will only last so long.
Right? It's like
Eventually, you're going to have to sit with it.
Going to burn out.
Eventually, you just have to sit with it. And it's the new reality. A friend of mine said, welcome to our club, because she had already lost her mom. And again, I lost both parents. And I said, oh. She goes, yeah, it's a club nobody wants to be a part of. And it just sits with you.
Yeah, and it's this, like, doing these events, or there was like one of my dad's favorite things. Like, I do these shows or do the media because it was really something he liked.
And he liked seeing you.
Oh my God, he was just like, it was his thing. So yeah, that's my son. That's the only reason I do this, so I can, hey Dad. So to be here today and not to be able to call him and say I want you to watch this it's a different
indescribable
journey.
Is what it is.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't feel good. I'm just like in a fog and a haze and.
Well, that's how I even called you. I said, "Do you want to come on?" You said, "Yeah." It gets me out of it. But you know what? You are doing this for him.
I am.
You're doing. I'll tell you what I believe.
I'm dedicating this to him. There you go.
There you go. What's your dad's name?
Leroy.
We're dedicating this show, and I really mean that, to Leroy Harris.
Oh, thank
right?
you.
So let's remember that, to Leroy Harris.
Thank you.
I believe he's here. He's probably in that chair right there, going, "Nice job, son."
What do you think, Dad? There you go.
Yeah, but it's a tough
He's
thing.
not talking
but
to me.
He must have been very proud of you.
He was so proud. He was so proud. I don't think it's funny. I was telling my family, I said, I can't remember feeling loved by him so much, but I always felt like I gained his respect. So it's an interesting, complex thing to process, They're like, no, he was so proud. He boasted everybody. I don't know if he really...
I know, my parents did too.
What does that mean,
I know, my parents did too, and I would sit down with them, and they'd never bring anything up. I'm like, hello? But they just didn't. I guess that was their way of showing their love. They would tell everybody else what their kids are doing.
That generation didn't really understand love, but it's so much to process. Like, I need to get an update on my computer up here, or like a download or something.
I have two things to tell you about it. Sit with it. Some days are okay, some days aren't. And you'll be there for the next person who feels the pain. That's all I can say, because everyone eventually goes through that. So now your new journey is to be there for the next guy or gal, because sadly that's what's going to happen.
And then the outreach sorry, go ahead.
No.
The outreach of these people that come out that you didn't even know, were your friends, like, come out, and it's amazing. Like you said, I have so many people that said, hey, you can call me. I don't know you. I
had that happen too.
I'm like, wait, this is weird, but no, you appreciate that. There's like so much outpouring of love. Yeah, and because they've been through it and they understand it, so it's.
So you're gonna pay that forward, or push it forward, or move it forward for the next person. You will.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk to anybody about it. It's weird. Like, I just don't want to. I just want to be quiet. I just want to be to myself and not chat about it. But maybe it just needs to process first.
Have you been busy with work? Like, what's your next project?
Next project we have like 12 next ones, but
oh my God,
we have a lot.
Do you primarily work in the LA area? I mean, you work with a lot of celebrities, but I know you work with regular people too.
No, we work.
And do you primarily do eco-friendly building?
We do. A lot of the projects are more eco-friendly now than probably before I met Ed. We're doing one now that's really kind of cool. It's on Los Tilos. It's right in the Hollywood Hills. Like, you can see the Hollywood sign. I mean, it's just hot. It's one of those like really, really hot homes.
I want to come see it.
And it's the first one. So people have partnered with us where we're going to build a house for them that they're going to sell, because they said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we love your homes. Everyone loves your homes. What if we could actually have a home that people can have? So it's a modern home, so you might like it. And it's pretty, it's slick, it's sexy. Like, you can walk in the shower. I mean, if you're not bashful, you got floor to ceiling glass. You could just stand out there and look at Hollywood. I mean,
that would be so
it's
cool.
Hot. It's like really hot. Oh my God. And the view is just like, I've never seen a view like, you're like, I didn't realize you can almost see the world being around up there. It's just like you're up in the clouds in this spot. I have to show you.
They're going to bring the helicopter tours right past the house. It's like, and in that shower, it's like, wow.
It's really hot.
Sounds
it's
beautiful.
really, really hot.
I want to circle back for a minute to Ed's house, sorry. But he even has recycled water in the house. I mean, what you thought of and what you did is groundbreaking. I mean, come on. Right?
Yeah.
I think the gutter collects the water, and then, can you explain that to me very briefly?
Yeah, so I mean, there's numbers of ways. So we put this thing, rainwater tank in the back that's about the size of my first apartment, and what we've done is basically created like an underground manifold. So every bit of water that drops on that property goes down there, right? So
wow.
Here's the cool thing about actually having a flat roof. where you can put your solar panels on. Not only do you put your solar panels, but we have all these drains. And then we have to think about the kind of roofing material because you didn't want to pick up all of the toxins from the roof.
Right.
It all comes down. It funnels through. Even the pavers outside in the driveway are permeable. I mean, you'll see all that water that normally is running off down in there. We're picking it up.
Brilliant.
So that's getting picked up. And then there's this thing called condensate that's really cool. So in the summertime, when you've got the air conditioners running, off of the solar panel on the roof when it's getting the most amount of power, it's actually dehumidifying the air. And if you ever see that little drippy thing over your door, what's that? What's dripping? So that's the overflow. But what we did is we actually took those and then we put those into the recycling water tanks. So believe it or not, each air conditioning unit can get 5 to 8 gallons a day. So in summertime, every time he's running the air conditioner for free off of the sun, we're collecting water and dehumidifying the house, and we're watering his corn and his tomatoes and everything
crazy.
outside. It's like Water World out there. Where's Kevin Costner?
I don't know. You should be doing this for everyone, for businesses, for theme parks. I mean, this is incredible.
It's cool. It's just like this. It's like, you know that circle, like where you see the circle going around and an arrow in a circle, and like it really works. Like the water comes from the ocean, it falls up here, then it falls back down. So we created that system there for him. So, and then he can go outside, he can eat and live and use the water and make it go back in this. It's like Water World. It was so fun. And I didn't even think of it as a green thing or eco. It just seemed like the smart thing. Like, how do you not do this? Like,
I don't get it. Like, how do we not do it? Earlier in my other show, we were talking about shoes and not having leather shoes. Why haven't we had products that don't kill animals? Why don't we use sustainable products and reuse wood and reclaim things? It just makes sense. We've been wasteful, and now people are coming and saying no more. And then, someone like you is taking it to another level and being creative about it. It's incredible.
And then just concrete, by the way, too, is one of the third most destructive things to our environment worldwide. Because of the amount of energy it takes to produce it. I mean, when you think about what it takes we always think it's a nice green product and it's just sand and it's water and some cement. But when you're taking products from the earth, the amount of energy that it takes to destruct it, pull it in, process it, ship it, put it into one of those big trucks that are blowing black smoke out of your, as they're coming up and pumping it. So what we did for Ed's is something different, and people can do this. We actually, instead of using concrete, we actually used, it's called Ashcrete, and we're using, do you want me to get that?
No, why do people keep calling me? They know I'm busy on Wednesdays.
Let me talk to them.
All of a sudden, it's like, at least I have the volume down this time.
Yeah. So it's called Ashcrete, and it's actually the fly ash that we are still, unfortunately, using coal to burn for power. But that's going in the landfills. You can actually use 60 to 80% of that, which was trash, and make some of the best concrete you've ever made.
Why don't city engineers employ you? I'm serious. You need to get yourself out there also to give advice to city engineers and planning, because everyone is still doing stuff the old way.
Right.
This is the new way. This is the way to do it in the future. It's economical. It's smart. People, I mean, you feel good about hearing this. It's like, oh, finally. And your bills are less.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. We can employ people doing this.
And then most people today, they're still wrapping their houses inside and out with paper, too, right?
Let's talk, because we don't have much time. Give me a minute about insulation and drywall. Don't you use fiberglass drywall?
We use fiberglass back drywall. But everybody's still wrapping their house with the K-lath on the outside. They're wrapping it with when you think about it, you're lining your house with paper, and paper is not the most
right. And then you get mold. I know you're a big guy on mold.
Yeah.
You came to when he came to my house, he was actually inspecting to make sure I had no mold. I said, I don't have mold. I was good.
You were good. You did. Yeah.
I'm pretty particular, and
good.
I made sure that it was insulated. I was one of those people who went, and I was watching them put the whatever it's called, the mold stuff.
But it's time for a change. People don't think differently. And I know we got to go, but the construction industry, you cannot get a bachelor's degree, you cannot get a PhD, and so there just isn't. It's one of those things that people didn't study. I did spend my entire life studying this. People know a lot more than I do, but it's time to bring about change.
But you go a step further. You really are very logical about it, and you actually look at a project and look at how you can make it better, how you can make it more affordable for people too. I mean, that's the big one. I told you what my bill was, well over $2,000.
Yeah.
I'd love to get it down to $10, but I'd have to start from scratch to do something like that. And if I build, I am going to have you build for me, because
I'd love to.
You're just, real quickly, in your spare time, what do? Don't you grill something that's kind of weird?
Oh, yeah, you
I
heard
saw
about
that on Facebook.
Did
I'm
you
like,
see that?
Look. That looks like steak. What are you doing there?
That one is steak.
It is?
That was a steak.
Who
That's
got me the steak?
That's my
we
steak.
pulled the wrong picture.
But it's good looking steak, right?
Okay,
Oh,
where's
there's
the
my
watermelon steak?
Oh my God! So hey, so what that is my dry aged. I dry age my own meat at home because
Okay,
I'm
but I want to get the
fanatic.
watermelon steak up
Yeah,
there. Do
I
we
did-
not have a
I-
picture of his watermelon?
I did
okay,
see
let's
it.
just pretend.
I saw it before. You had it up there.
We
It was
did?
It was a video that you had. I sent it yesterday.
We have a video of that.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need to show the video really unless
Well,
you
no,
want
it's
to run
just
it under
it's like a
us.
3-second thing. There it is. So that's
Oh.
watermelon. There you can pause it, right? Or so my wife.
I saw that and I thought, thanks for inviting me over for dinner.
I would love to.
That looks, well, I'm waiting. That looks really cool. I would love to come over for watermelon steak. Does it taste good?
It actually tastes really good.
So you just like did it on your own?
I was trying to be, yeah. So my wife said, hey, honey, I got a watermelon. What are we going to do with it? Why don't you grill it? My friend heard that it's nice grilled. And I said, wait a minute, steak, because I love steak, So I just thought, get out the rosemary. I got the thyme. I got the
Look at
garlic. And then the key to this thing is you got to salt it first and then kind of pat it off so it doesn't, that's in butter right there, some garlic on the side. And then I just kind of spooned it on. But why it works is because there's a lot of sugar content in there. And so it caramelizes the same way steak does. So if you were a vegan, right, like our last guest, or a doctor said, hey, you can't have steak anymore, that's like my go-to. It kind of has a steak flavor. It had a little bit of a steak consistency. You got to do it really hot and flash it quickly. So it's kind of like, it's hot and seared on the outside. It's still like a little bit warm on the inside. It was like, how do we not do this?
It just looks beautiful. When I read that it was watermelon, I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? You just do everything.
I had to. If I'm not doing something new or learning something new, I get really depressed. So I've got to come up with something new to
That's
do.
how creative people are. We were talking about that earlier today.
Yeah.
Creative people go up and down a little bit, not because there's anything wrong with them or because they're whatever you want to call them. That's the creative process.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be sitting doing, the books as an accountant.
I'd be really
Which is
bored.
great. You'd have a stable life and stable personality and all that. Instead, you're grilling steaks, building houses. Please pick up
Writing
Gladys, writing magazine articles. That's the creative force. Going in homes and seeing how you can make them better, not just how you can build them. I love that. I
Thank
love
you.
that. And I got to have you come over soon.
All right.
Bring the wife, bring the kids, come on your own, whatever you want. But we'll do
Deal.
it again soon.
Deal. We're
Thank
gonna
you
do
for
it.
being here. And how can
Thank you.
people get in touch with you?
You can go to our website, which is buildingcgroup.com. buildingcgroup.com. So the name of the company is Building Construction Group, or you can also go to my personal email address, which is scott@buildingcgroup.com. It's just that easy. Scott at Building Construction Group took too long, so scott@buildingcgroup.com.
We'll put it all over our social media
All right.
later today, too. So
Cool.
thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy you came. Love the blue blazer. It matches the eyes. Really, really nice.
Thank you.
I love the look. Thanks for being
Thank
here,
you.
and we'll have you at the house soon.
All right, deal.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody, thank you so much for being here on Deborah Kobylt Live. You can find our show on the website, on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, and you can listen. It's a great podcast to just listen to in the car, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. See you next time. Bye.